A very good morning, everyone. I, Dr. Thriti Verma, working as Assistant Professor in School of Pharmacy, Chitkara University, Himachal Pradesh, welcome you all to day 4 of our faculty development program on mental health and AI, Innovation in Detection, Treatment and Support, which is organized by AIU, Chitkara University, Himachal Pradesh, Academic and Administrative Development Center in association with IQAC, Chitkara University, Himachal Pradesh. As we gather here today, we embark on another day of insightful discussions. But as we progress, let's take a moment to recap the key highlights from day 3 of our faculty development program on mental health and AI. The session began with an in-depth discussion led by Dr. Pradipta Sarangi, who insights on the future scope of AI and human intelligence, as well as AI in healthcare data analysis. The discussion about various applications was very informative, particularly the example of building data sets and predicting the results. Now, on the basis of yesterday's session, we will be discussing the questions. So any of you can share your answer with us. So over to participants now. So I request the participants to please share their answers.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, sir.
I have answer of question number 1 and second. Actually, first one is that mental health prediction is the use of machine learning and other techniques to forecast the likelihood of mental health issue in individual. It can be significant part of healthcare because it can help reduce the risk of serious mental illness and can help with early detection and interventions. The early detections, intervention plans, personalized experience, and some of example of mental health prediction by the AI, including machine learning models. Second one is hybrid prediction models like a support vector machine, multi-layer perceptron, and random forest to predict the stage of anxiety. And the answer of second question is that common data source used for mental health prediction with machine learning, including clinical assessments, which are the medical records, self-reported surveys, social media data, wearable device data, electronic health records, demographic informations, and psychometric tests. These all of which can provide valuable insights into an individual's mental health status and potential risk factor when analyzed using machine learning algorithm. So some of the breakdowns of data sources like clinical assessments, self-report surveys, social media data, wearable device data, electronic health records, demographic informations, and psychometric tests. And some are the key points which are we have to be remembered during the use of this AI. First one is data quality is crucial. Second one is ethical considerations. The last one is multi-model approaches. This is from my side.
Yeah, hello. Hello, good morning. Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So the first question about the define the term mental health prediction and explain its significance in healthcare. So in mental health prediction, we are actually approaching or trying to uh, early detection, going for early detection of mental health conditions which can be aggravated in future and would be of a hazardous or a problematic thing in future. So early detection and as well as the rate in which it can aggravate or it can in future. So those things are being coming into the mental health prediction in an early stage. As per the second question, the common data sources we have, actually there are very less data in actually are available primarily, or even it is very tough to get the primary data. You have to tie up with a hospital or a health clinic, or have to tie up with different doctors and clinical experts for getting the primary data. So they need various type of agreements with the parent institutions. But apart from that, the secondary data are to some extent available in Kaggle and other online platforms from which they can be easily downloaded and can be used with proper permission sometimes. And as per the third question goes, explore the limitations using social media data for mental health predictions. How can these limitations be addressed? There are many things that in social media which we need to actually go on rechecking also. We cannot directly take the social media data and use it directly into our research. It need to be cleaning, and the reliability is also not very high. So those things actually are some kind of limitations here. And along with another aspect is, in our country or in most of the third world countries, actually there are no standard ways of using this data, or how the different machine learning techniques can be used, or how they can be used for mental health prediction. There are no standard rules or techniques that have been prescribed through any rules or any different uh, medical prescriptions and so on. So it depends from case to case. As we understand that mental health conditions also changes from patient to patient, although they might both be suffering from the same disorder or so, but then the treatment can differ a lot. So obviously this without this presence of any standard uh, process of prescription or detection or even treatment of that disease, that actually coming to the different aspects of treatment in later on, and future aspects, how they can be managed. So these, we require proper laws also and standardization of these processes. Thank you. That's all from my side.
Thank you so much, sir. Anyone else from the participants?
Yeah, ma'am. Shireen here.
Ma'am, I
So,
request you to please turn on the camera. I request
Okay.
all the participants to please turn on their camera while answering the questions, please.
yeah, I did it. I think it's a little slow.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay,
it'll
ma'am.
happen.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So, ma'am, the first question is mental health predictions. So, it just means that to classify whether a person is having a disease or not. And in this, we can have, different stages of the disease also. So, we have to predict that. And obviously, early detection of the disease is very important. And yeah, that's the significance. And for medical, classification, it is very important that the sensitivity should be good. Like just the accuracy of the classifier, if it is good, that is not enough. So you have to take care of the false positives, and you know uh, also. Next thing is, what are the common data sources for mental health? Kaggle and GitHub are very good data sources for mental health predictions. Apart from that, yes, we can collect clinical data, um, and yeah, so on. And there are various organizations actually for different diseases. Like for Parkinson's, we have the PMI database, uh, likewise, and UCI is there. And the limitations of using social media data, I would say social media data may not be accurate. Sometimes what we actually feel, we may not be putting that on social media. So it is not a correct thing to be used as a classifier, I would say. And secondly, all the masses may not be using social media, maybe only the youngsters are using more of social media. So it cannot be a generalized one. We cannot say that if the social media gives this picture, that is the correct picture. And again, the ethical considerations will be there. Are we supposed to use somebody else's data for making predictions and all? So that is obviously there. So yeah, that's all from my side.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. Anyone else from the participants? So if anyone want to share the answer of any question out of three, they are most welcome, please. Vikram sir, your voice is not clear. Okay, I think that's it for discussion for today. So moving forward. Vikram sir, your voice is not clear. Okay, thank you all the participants for sharing the answer. So as we move forward into day 4, now it is my honor and privilege to introduce Dr. Meenu Khurana ma'am, currently working as Pro Vice Chancellor at Chitkara University, Himachal Pradesh. Ma'am is a distinguished figure whose extensive contribution to industry, academia, and research have profoundly influenced the landscape of higher education and technological innovation. With over 27 years of experience, ma'am has excelled in various capacities, primarily holding leadership position in academia. Her journey is a proof to her dedication, vision, and relentless pursuit of excellence. At Chitkara University, she has played a crucial role in imitating robust industry academia collaboration, establishing centers of excellence, and offering undergraduate students a diverse range of specialization area, including data science, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, UI UX game development, digital marketing, and entrepreneurship. These initiatives have not only enriched the academia environment but have also equipped students with essential skills for success in an ever evolving technological world. Ma'am influence extends beyond academia into professional organization. She has been a senior member of IEEE for over 13 years, also served as an IEEE EXCOM SAC member for the Delhi section for 2 years and is a life member of the Indian Society of Technical Education. Her academic and research ability is evident for her impressive portfolio of over 60 published papers and 12 granted patents. Dr. Khurana has contributed extensively to conferences and workshops, sharing her expertise in areas such as vehicular ad hoc networks, wireless sensors, fog computing, machine learning, computer networks, cybersecurity, and much more. Today, we are privileged to have Dr. Meenu Khurana with us to enlighten us on the topic of mental health and AI. We welcome you to the virtual stage, ma'am, and over to you now. Thank you.
Thank you for the detailed description and detailed resume that you have studied, though it was not related to the topic mostly. But anyways, thank you very much. I'm just sharing my screen. I think I'm not able to share. Probably you need to give me rights for this.
Ma'am, we have already given you the rights.
Okay, let me just check. So, are you able to see my screen? No?
No, ma'am.
Okay, just a minute. Just give me 1 minute.
Now we can see Meenu ma'am's profile. So I think you need to stop sharing first.
So, I'm not able to share. I don't know.
Ma'am, we have stopped sharing our slide now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, just let me re-log in probably.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
I'm getting the message that host disabled attendee screen sharing.
Try again, ma'am. We have again made you the co-host.
Probably. Yes. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible now. Thank you.
Now my presentation is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so my apologies for this technical glitch. So, welcome to all the participants. My presentation would be about human-centered AI for mental health. Now, this particular thing is very, very important once we discuss about the area of mental health. Now, just let me brief you that how it works. Before that, we'll just go for the mental health data statistics. Now, if you see the data from World Health Organization, I've taken the figures from there. So they have identified major, mental health issues. I think most of you are from pharmacy background, so you will be understanding the terminology better. So one is the bipolar disorder. So it is estimated that 40 million people, if we are assuming the total population, I think till end of October, the total population was 8.2 billion, maybe 8,200 million was the population. So 0.53%, though in percentage it is very, very less, but if we see the numbers, the figures, it is 40 million people who are suffering from bipolar disorder. It is a bit different from unipolar. I won't go into details of this because I'm not from medical background, but yes, once you start working with the AI and start working on the algorithms and tools for this, then you understand all these things. So second type of mental illness issue that has been raised is depressive disorder. So, approximately 280 million people in the world have depression, right? So, if I talk of 280 million, that means somewhere it is around 3.5% of the total population. Though in percentage, again, I'm telling you, it is very, very meager. But yes, if we see in the numbers, it is too much. And these are the cases that have been registered or informed. There may be much more, cases which have not been noted or noticed as yet. So in a depressive disorder, it is 50% more common among women than among men. And it is also related to the income group as well. So it has been analyzed that 75% of the people in low and middle income countries have not been undergone any treatment because they are not highlighting their problem. They are not ready to understand this, or probably they are ignorant enough to bring it forward. So there has not been treatment for these people. The third major category is dementia. So more than 55 million people have dementia worldwide. Now, again, 60% of these people live in low and middle income countries. So this data has been analyzed by World Health Organization, WHO. Autism is again one kind of a mental health illness, and about 1 in 100 children has autism, which number is very, very alarming. Mental disorder, 1 in every 8 people, or 970 million people around the world living with the mental disorder. Now they are either having anxiety, depression disorders, which are very, very common. And if I talk of schizophrenia, now it affects almost 24 million people. That means 1 in 300, or you can say 0.32% worldwide. So these are the major keywords, you can say, or major illnesses related to the mental health. There are more, but I could get the data of these six only. So this data has been presented. Seeing the data and seeing the intensity, and seeing how the people are facing these depressions, these challenges, and suffering from mental health issues, uh, there is actually a need to work in that direction. These are the reported cases. There are several millions which are unreported cases as well, of which the data has not been collected or could not be gathered. So we need to actually work in this direction. And that is why every time whenever there are FDPs and all, it is always expected that it should be interdisciplinary, because no individual person can work in this direction. We have to work as a team, as a team of researchers who can work to find the solution of this problems. So how AI can help? if you talk to the technologist, now they are developing the AI tools. But how AI can help? AI can help in predicting the mental illness. There are so many different tools available. We'll discuss, the tools that are existing, that are available. It can help in giving treatments, because it can give you the therapist actual data that what is the problem faced by the patient, so the treatment can be aligned accordingly. It can help in stress management with the help of chatbots and all, and the therapist can also work in this direction. So stress management is one area where AI can help. There are wearable devices. You might be knowing the Fitbits, and even the mobiles are having certain apps which can give you the data of your pulse rate, of your anxiety, of stress, or heartbeat and all. They are the indicators that show that you are suffering from some kind of a mental stress, some kind of a illness, basically. And virtual support in terms of chatbots is also available 24 by 7. Even if somebody is not available, some person is not available, you can get a virtual support. And there are personalized apps as well, which we can download on your mobiles, on your systems, and then we can work in this direction, and we can help the patients, to overcome their stress to certain extent. Though it cannot be replaced by intervention of a human being or a therapist, but yes, it can definitely help all the persons. So these are the broad areas where AI can help. Now, my topic says that it is a human-centered AI. We need to understand the difference between a traditional AI versus the human-centered AI. Now, when I talk of a traditional AI, it is just automation of a task. Uh, for example, if I need to understand that from the chat history of one person, that how many times a person has used the word fear or used the word depression or anxiety in the chats or in any of the texts on the social media. So I can get all the details and the data, and then I can, give it to some particular tool or a algorithm which can work for me and tell me, okay, 5 times, it has been put, or 8 times it has been mentioned, or maybe 20 times it has been mentioned in past 5 days data. So that is basically a automation of a task, rather than, finding it from the text itself. We are giving it to some kind of a algorithm, and we are feeding the data, and from the data it is calculating. Now, if I talk of human centered AI, it understands the capabilities and needs of the human. So human touch is also involved. uh, for example, if I say that I give the chat history of a person to any tool, and tool will give me the kind of a count that how many times fear or depression has been used. Now, if I see, for example, one sentence has been written that my friend was, depressed today. So, what the traditional AI is going to do, it is going to count it as one word where the depression or depressed word has been used. But in which context it has been used, it is going to ignore that simply. So, if I'm saying that depression is not good for anyone, we should find a cure for this. So, in my chat history, it is going to ignore everything, but algorithm is going to check that, okay, depression word has been used, and the count will be incremented by one, that how many times probably a person has used it. But if it is a human intervention, any human being can check that the word depression used in a particular sentence has got a different meaning, right? So that is important to make a traditional AI a trustworthy thing. And also, the major problem, if I simply ask to a person ki, okay, your data will be assessed, like lot many applications today ask the agreements from us, that we agree that our data can be shared to this particular company. Our data can be shared, and obviously we have to say tick 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 tick, and then we are allowed to use that app. So it is kind of a traditional thing, it's an automated thing. If somebody says, okay, I can share any other data, but I don't want to share my medical history, my medical problems. Now, unless until a person shares that chat history, nothing can be done. So how the human intervention will be there? The human can counsel that person that, okay, this data will be private and will not be given to anyone else except for the particular tool or the algorithm from which we will identify your problem. So that kind of a intervention is always required. So that is important, that how we can add the human centric approach to a traditional AI. So when it is comes to the trustworthiness, ethics and empathy and all, so then we say that it should be a human centered AI. So that is what we say. A simple example is when you call to a toll free number, you get a recorded voice, or the computerized based system starts, okay, if you want to do press 1, press 2, press 3, and so on. Sometimes you get irritated because sometimes your problem is not fitting into that areas, right? And you want some person to interact with you. So 90% of the times we say that, okay, we want to interact with some person, human being, who can understand our language, to whom we can convey. So that is a human centric approach that always is required. So that was one example. But in case of a medical thing, it becomes all the more important that we talk to a human being about this. But at the same time, we cannot go away with the AI, because it is very, very difficult to access the data, the huge data, the large data from which we want to extract some meaningful information. Okay, so that is why a human centered AI is important in case of a medical things. So, how we are using HCAI? HCAI is a short of human centered AI in diagnosing mental health issues. Now, there is one term called NLP, natural language processing. Natural language is the language we speak. For example, if I say कि ये प्रेजेंटेशन में बहुत लोगों को हिंदी में समझ आ रहा है, एंड somebody is comfortable in understanding English, so I'm using two languages. This is my common way of speaking. So natural language processing is in the language, apart from the dialect, accent, what you are speaking and how your language will be interpreted. Now it can be a verbal language, it can be a written text as well, right? So this is how it is being processed. So to diagnose mental health, there are four ways of how the person communicate. For example, if I am not well, you can see from my face, from my facial expression, you can see from my body language, you can see from my text, right? And maybe these are the major, or maybe a written text, or maybe a spoken word. So there are four things that we take in NLP. One is the facial expression, the body language, the spoken words, as well as the written words, that help us understanding that what is the problem with the person. And this happens in a common thing also. We always say that, okay, today you doesn't seem well, because probably we can check from the face, from the body language, the how person is sitting, how uncomfortable the person is, and how do we speak when we are ill, and what kind of text do we write or message do we write. So that all comes under the natural language processing. Now, another way we can diagnose is there are tools available. There are wearable tools, or maybe your Fitbits, or maybe your mobiles as well, that convert the sound captured from your body into the visual maps, which are known as spectrograms. So if there is any problem, any issue, that sound wave will tell us that yes, something has happened. For example, if I'm running fast, my heartbeat increases. So in that case, the sound waves, sometimes, because I'm having a wearable device, I'm wearing it on my body, so it can check that there is some problem, my heartbeat is increasing. So that kind of a wearable devices are helpful in capturing the sound waves and then converting it into a spectrograms, from where we can check these things. And the major thing is, before we diagnose that any issue and all, there can be a predictive analysis as well. We go in for the health checkups, routine health checkups. What does it mean? That means it can predict that whether we are prone to particular disease or not. Say if my glucose level or sugar level is at a borderline, so somebody can tell me, okay, you are going to be a pre-diabetic, right? So you need to be careful. So it can give you the predictive thing as well. So AI can help in giving you the prediction as well. Now when we go in for the health checkup, so there is a range of value. If your parameters are lying in that particular range, that means you are good to go. If it is on the borderline, it gives you some kind of information that you are at this particular borderline, so you are prone to these kind of illnesses. So similarly, for a mental health issues also, we can do a predictive analysis based on certain parameters, examinations, which we can do through AI, right? So taking the historical data, the medical data of a patient, taking the images, the expressions, the text, the social media text put on by the patient, right? So these everything can be used for accessing or for predicting the any kind of a mental health illness that may occur in future. So there are certain tools which we are already having based on the GPT, though it is again on the testing phase only. We cannot rely 100% on these tools, but yes, they are under development. The more we use that, the more information these tools will be getting, the better these tools will be, because they are also working on the information, the data. So if the data is large, definitely the models will come out to be very well. Like we say, if the doctors has treated thousands and thousands of patients, that doctor would be expert vis-a-vis a doctor who's new to the this field. So this is a chat GPT based tool, which is DX GPT tool. Now you have to give the brief description of a patient, or maybe your self description in the terms of a keywords, or maybe in terms of sentence or so, and it will give you a prediction that what kind of diseases you may have. Sometimes we may feel that we should not go in for that, but yes, not as a patient, but as a therapist, it can be helpful for us, provided we these tools are having access to a larger database. The more they study, the more perfect these tools become. So for example, in this tool, like I've given one particular few words. I'll show you the demo as well, if I can see. Are you able to see the screen? So this is DX GPT. Are you able to see that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so maybe you can give me some words. We can type it down, or any sentence. Any one of you can give me related to mental health issues. Maybe you can suggest me something.
I'm having continuous headache.
Okay, so I'm typing continuous headache. Maybe I can say also anxiety. Anything else? So it says that you have to have minimum of few characters, 15, 20 characters, and so it's a continuous headache, also anxiety and tired, and I'm tired. Something like this. In my own words, I can write, right? So if I search by giving some explanation, it will take some time to see from the database. And it is showing me based on the keywords it has been able to detect. I can write a sentence, but it will pick up the keywords and will show me the details. Like, for example, it is showing me a green mark of migraine, that headache. If I'm having a headache, so it might be a migraine. So it might be a tension headache, right? So it might be a chronic fatigue syndrome, it may be a centralized anxiety disorder. So these are the options it is giving to me. The more specific words I use, the more specific results I'll be getting. So as a patient, I may give the keywords, but a therapist can use it for a better information. That the therapist can type exact keywords by asking the patient, and then it can give you the broad analysis that what kind of diseases you may be having, right? So so this tool can be used for some purpose, though it is under development. And what actually they do is they search from the keywords from their database, that if this is the keyword, what kind of disease or illness a patient may have, and then it can give you the list of that matching with the specific keyword. So it may so happen that the 3 4 5 keywords you have given, each keyword is related to a different specific illness. So it is going to pinpoint 4 or 5 different kind of illnesses that a patient may have. Now a person, a therapist or a doctor can identify by his or her own experience, that what kind of disease a patient can have. So that is why a human centric approach is also important, because we cannot 100% rely on this. Maybe in a future, the more people, the more data this GPT tools get, the more accurate they will become, right? So this is how a type of tools can be used. So there are certain chatbots as well for cognitive behavioral therapy. I think most of you might be knowing what is cognitive behavioral therapy. If anyone can just, give a one sentence about cognitive behavioral therapy, what is it about? Anyone who's aware of this? I know lot many attendees are from pharma background. You might be knowing this. Probably you can share it with others.
Ma'am, it is a therapy in which a person tried to find out the ways how it is thinking about some situation, and if it is not the accurate way to think, then needs to uh, unlearn that technique, unlearn that habit, so that he or she may overcome the problem of depression or anxiety.
Right, right. Thank you very
Uh,
much, sir, for the input. So, if we talk
may I,
of this,
ma'am?
yes,
Ma'am, cognitive based therapy, that means we have to change the person's emotions. So it is the basic level therapy. If any psychiatrist suggests, if the symptoms is the initial level, they are not need any medications. So we can, based on the CBT therapy, we have to change the emotions and try to get the initial level help.
okay. So both the answers were really very good and helpful. So actually, in if I say in layman terms, say for example, I am not happy today. I am feeling low. So I sit with my friends, right? And my friends, they realize that I am not happy. I am sad somehow. So they will change the direction of the conversation, right? So let's go out and let's try, having samosas today. Long back we used to have it in campus. Let's go to that canteen and have samosas. So my mind, instead of thinking of I was sad and I am feeling low, my mind will divert to some extent into that direction, and further conversation will move in a different direction. So that means that a thought process is being changed from one particular emotion to another particular emotions, right? So chatbots are really helpful in this, because sometimes in today's scenario we have a nuclear families, maybe kids are at home alone, maybe elderly people are at home, and we don't have anyone to talk with, or sometimes we don't want to talk to anyone regarding our problem and all, but we are not happy. So these kind of bots, help us in shifting our thought process from one particular channel of thoughts to another one. Okay. uh, I'm not from medical background, I'm sorry for that, so I'm not using exact medical terms, pardon me for that, because it should not be incorrect. So no offenses to that, but in a layman terms, it is changing your chain of thoughts from one particular direction to another particular direction. So that is actually a cure for the mental health issues or mental illness as well. The bots are available where you can just type it, I am not happy today. So a bot will say, what happened? Let's play something. So I don't want to play. Okay, then would you like to listen to some music? Okay, fine. Some sad song I write. Okay, the chatbot will start playing some kind of a music for me. And if I'm sad, I'll ask for, okay, put the sad songs. So chatbot will do that. But after a few lines and all, it will change from sad to a okay song and then to a different song, so that my mood changes. So these are how the bots change our chain of thoughts to in a different direction. So if I was feeling low, now I am feeling okay, all right, because my mind has gone into a different direction. So because I was no one at home, or I was not willing to talk it to anyone who's at home. So I mean, because of some privacy, because of some other issues, I don't want to share my mental state with anyone. So these kind of a bots help in that direction, right? You can type it down, you can share your views, and these bots learned from a past historical data. It will understand that from the keywords only, that how the person is feeling, and it will further decide its course of action based on those keywords only. If the person is having fear, it will go into a different direction of a different conversation. It's just like you have Alexa and Siri and all, so you can converse with them. Okay. So one very good example, some time back my daughter was not happy doing the homework. So she was like, I don't want to do a homework, I'm tired. So she started talking to Siri, hey Siri, can you do my homework? I am really fed up but doing my homework, can you please do my homework? So what kind of answer, because she was tired, she was not ready to do the homework. So Siri understood that somebody is telling, person is telling to do a homework. So now from the historical data, uh, it understood that okay, uh, homework is to be done by the person only. It's given in the school, it's a homework. So what answer Siri gave, uh, I think you should do your homework yourself, it would be better. So when the Siri said in a different tone, I think you should do your homework, it's a better way. So I was also listening that time, and my daughter was there. We suddenly started laughing at the answer, that the way that she spoke. So I mean, sometimes we generally get a lot of help in changing our moods with the help of these bots. And these Siri and Alexa and all, you can always tell that these are also kind of a bots. Now what are other benefits? This support is available 24 by 7. young generation who are suffering a lot from the depression nowadays. The people aging from, I think, 15 to 29 are the most prone to the depression during this COVID time. So 24/7 support is available to them, because this young generation is awake almost, till 2 o'clock midnight or 3 o'clock midnight, or I don't know, because their work culture is somehow different. Uh, so 24/7 support is available, because every time you cannot go to a therapist at any time, and it is a personalized approach. You can speak anything you want. If you're not happy, you use the words if you want. And it is convenient to an individual. You don't have to travel, you just have to type something and you'll get answer, or you'll have to speak something and you'll get an answer. And your privacy is also there. I mean, sometimes you cannot speak the words to another person, but yes, you can speak to a bot, assuming that it will not tell it to anyone, though it is being recorded, though it is being in their database, but yes, it will be anonymous, right? So these are the benefits of the chatbots that have been developed using AI, which are actually helpful in overcoming these mental stresses. There are further AI tools that have been developed by tech companies, which are commercially being used, as well as the freeware is also available for the testing. You can simply check it up. So Kintsugi is one tool which identifies the facial and the voice recognition, and then it gives the feedback to the therapist that how that person is reacting, and from the facial expression, what do you judge with that. IBM's Watson Health is a very good AI tool. It predicts the progression of the disease, how it is progressing, and the treatment that is being given, how effective that treatment is. So that kind of tool has been developed by the IBM Watson Health, which is again very, very good, just to see that the therapy that we are giving, whether it is useful for the patient or not. Third tool, there are more, but I have put only 5. Cerebral, this uses the AI, where the personalized treatment plans have to be made. Just like I told you, with the help of keywords, the therapist will understand that what kind of a problem that a person has, and then accordingly the treatment plan will be customized. Okay. So Mind Strong Health, again, this is a very good technology, where the keyboard interaction, like if I'm typing, say this my app is installed on my machine, my laptop, and I type something, I use the keyboard. So if I'm stressed and if I'm frustrated, I'll just bang on the keys. So the pressure that has been applied on the keys, keyboard, so that will give an idea, that will be given idea that if I'm tense or not. Similarly, the way I put the message on my mobile phone, if I send something, some text on this particular app, and the tool, so it will understand that how much pressure was applied while typing the text. Okay. So based on that, it will analyze that if I'm suffering from any kind of a problem or not. Now, there is a personal coach that is available with Visa. So it helps, how you can improve your sleep when you are going through tough emotions, just like a bot. So these are specific industry specific tools that have been in use in practice, and it has been developed to give you accuracy of almost more than 95%, right? So these are some examples of the AI tools that are being used, and definitely the human centered approach is there. Why? Because this alone cannot give you the result. It has to be seen, vetted by certain therapists. Like we go for some kind of a test and all, so there is always a signatures of the radiologist who takes the test. So that whatever information that has been given by any kind of a tool, the radiologist has to vet that particular or validate that particular information, and only then it will be given to the patient, right? So that is why human centered approach is always available. There is another commercial available bot, which is a test bot. It is again used for checking, what kind of problem the person is facing. You can, just check it through the website, or can search it from a test bot. You will get it, though it is a commercial available, but you can always ask for a demo if you are working in this direction. Maybe if you are working in the technical field of AI, or if you are a medical practitioner, so you can always ask for the demo as well, right? So these are kind of options or the facilities the AI is providing, uh, predicting, diagnosing, and treating the medical health issues. Okay, so I'll go a bit of technical, that how it works, why it is important to understand, because we have to work as a team of researchers from a multidisciplinary field. Unless until we understand the challenges of each other, we will not be able to, get a foolproof or a accurate model for this particular purpose. So it is important that how HCAI works, how it gives us the results. So the first step is we take a raw data. I'm assuming a one particular scenario where we are analyzing from the text data that a person is under stress, or person is facing any kind of a issue. So the first thing is I need a raw data or a multimodal data. Why I'm talking of a multimodal data? Because we don't always type in one particular language, right? For example, if I'm from India, so I will put my text message something in Hindi and English. It's kind of a Hinglish. And if somebody is from Spain, a Spanish mixed with English, so there can be multiple languages used in a small text. Okay, and the words will also be different. Like if I say American and UK English, right? American says COLOR, color, and UK people says COLOUR is a color. So that also is kind of a multimodal data, where typical, specific to any particular country, it is being considered, and as well as the different languages that have been used. So once I get the data, then the pre-processing is done. Now pre-processing has got certain steps. We convert it into a lowercase. Why it is done? Because it is not a human who can read and check it. It is a machine that has to read. So machine has to be given a data into a proper information. I cannot expect the machine to be as intelligent as human. So we have to give a data in a processed manner to a machine, so that machine can give some inferences to us. When I say machine, that means a computer machine which is having AI tool into it, right? So convert it into lowercase, remove the punctuation marks, do the tokenization. I am going to explain with example. Remove the stop words, do the stemming and lemmatization, and you get a data which is ready to be pre-processed by any kind of AI tool. Then you convert a particular words, the words that have been identified, with zeros and one, because your computer machine understands only 0 and 1. So you have to give it to a sequence of 0 and 1, which will give you that what is the sequence for hate, what is the sequence of digits for happy, what kind of emotions are represented with what kind of vector. So every particular emotion is numbered, and these numbers are given in the binary form, sequence of binary digits, which is 0 and 1. So then once I have converted those keywords into a specific numbers, binary numbers, so it is given into a particular tool. So now in that tool, it is already fed. If there is one word kind of happy, the person is not having any problem. or the person is having a happiness. If it is a hate, that means person is having some problem. So machine learning, or machine learning means it's part of AI only. A AI tool is able to understand that a person has used this kind of word into the text message, and what kind of emotion that person would be having, what kind of trauma that person would be facing. So it gives the classification of that ki, okay, these are the classifications of the feelings of a person. Now, this is an example of pre-processing. For example, I've taken one sentence, which is, I am feeling lonely and low, also insecure among us, right? So this is a common text, from the social media or from my WhatsApp messages somebody has taken. Now, in this case, the first step was converted into a lowercase. So I'm converting except I. I'm sorry for this mistake while typing. So I am feeling lonely and low, also insecure among us. So I have removed I, comma M and converted into I am, and all the entire sentence has been converted into the lowercase. Now in this particular case, we have to see that in the sentence, us is written. Now among us can be for a country, us can be us as a word among us, right? So we need to understand first of all, because the way we convert it and give it to machine, it will interpret that way. So it can be a person can mean that I'm feeling lonely and low, also insecure among US people, right? So that can be US can be for United States of America, US can be for us as well, but that we need to understand and identify. So that is why we say that there cannot be 100% accuracy, but while preparing the data, while making the models, we need to see that how this us has been used. So that is again a field of research also, that what is the meaning of that particular sentence, and with the what are the pre words that have been used prior to that and after to that, to understand that in what context it has been used. Okay, the second step is the tokenization. If I go back, the second is removing punctuation. We have already removed commas. The third is tokenization, means breaking it into a separate words. Now converting the sentence into separate words. I is a separate word. I am is the separate word. Feeling is separate word. Lonely. So it will convert the entire sentence into words. Though for a human being, it is simply. I know what are the words, but for a machine, we have to have an entire software running telling them ki, okay, word one is I, second word is am, third word is feeling, fourth word is lonely, and so on. Because machine cannot interpret itself, we have to make a software for this to tell the machine. Now the next step after tokenization is removing stop words. Now what are stop words? The verbs I, am, he, she, they, whom, also, and, is, all are stop words. These are meaningless, right? So you have to pick the right words, right? That means in this sentence, remove I, remove am, feeling lonely, remove and, then becomes low, then also remove that, then insecure, right? So these are the words that will be picked by removing stop words. There is another software involved which are going to remove that stop words and can pick only these words. Then coming the stemming and lemmatization. Now stemming and lemmatization means removing all the verbs. Basically, if I say in the sentence feeling, what does actual mean is feel. Running, right? The actual word is run, so it will convert into that, because then the tool would be much better, because it will categorize this running, run, ran, everything comes under the category of run. Okay. So feeling, felt, and another thing. So it will all come under the feel only. So that is known as a lemmatization, removing grammar, removing the verbs and all, and coming to the core word. So it is stemming. So this is how the sentence is broken, pre-processed, and then it is given to the machine. So if I say the word lonely, lonely is again a word adjective only. It will be given to the machine, to the tool, and it will be converted into a vector form of 0 and 1. Now the tool will check lonely. Lonely word means what? In its database, it will found that if a lonely word is being used, that means a person is under depression, the person is under this particular problem, this problem, and so on. So it is going to, tell that okay, these kind of a problem will be there. It is just one sentence. If we see the chat history of a patient of say 10 days, 20 days, how many times the same word has been used, so it will be checked in the machine that how many times this lonely word has been used. If it has been used only once or twice in maybe a month's 30 days time, it is okay. If it has been used 20 times, 30 times, that means there is a problem. Okay, so that is how it is diagnosed. That is how it is found that yes, the person may have some problem. Okay, this is how the AI tools work. So this was one example of pre-processing, because it is the major task in AI tools. Okay, then I've taken one word, say fear. I have to identify a word called fear. So I extract the tweet or the X. Now it's not Twitter, it's X. So we have taken few sentences that I am so scared of what's going to happen in the world. Right now, the synonym of scared is what? Fear. Second sentence, the thought of what terrifies me. Synonym of terrify. Now, what will be done? Pre-processing will be done. After pre-processing, we will be having the keywords, which is war and terrify. Now, terrify synonym is fear. So it will be converted into a fear category. I can't sleep at night thinking about the possibility of word war. Now, if it is a war, right, that means it is a fear. This is really freaking me out. So after pre-processing, the computer, the tool will get only a word freak. Now, freak means again a kind of a fear. I am filled with dread about the state of the world. Now, if it is a dread, it will be again a fear. So in these sentences, what is the category? Now, all the emotions are categorized: fear, anger, sad, happy. So from all these sentence, we have checked the synonyms. This is with the help of tool only, and we have categorized that emotion category is text. Now, how the system knows that emotion category is fear? All these keywords which are kind of maybe synonyms or which are kind of symbolic, that shows that it is a fear, all these keywords will be fed to the tool, AI tool, that okay, these keywords are there, and if this is being used in a sentence, that means the category will be fear. Now, how these keywords will come? This again a data. We cannot simply feed. I mean, I have this list and I will give it to the tool that when these words are being used, that means the category, emotion category, is kind of fear. The person is feeling a fear. But the keywords will vary according to country, according to accent, according to a multimodal data. It can be in Hindi, it can be in English. Like, for example, there can be a word in Spanish, there can be a word in Punjabi, there can be a word in Bangla, there can be in any of the languages. So it should be able to extract. Just say, I've written a few words: Akraman is war, Hamla, Atankvad, Parmanu, Hathiyar. So if Hindi words are there, dictionary should go wider to include all the keywords of all the languages. So more data we have, the more the tools can learn, the more better results we can give. So this is why we say that we should have AI models which is having a lot of data. Okay, so this is how the categories are there, and now these categories will be aligned to one kind of a problem. Like we saw in DX GPT, if we are giving a certain word like khatarnak, like alarm, hysteria, fright, any of the keywords, so it will identify that okay, a person is feeling fear, so any illness related to this fear will be given by the GPT tool. So this is the entire process how it works. I don't know whether you are able to get it or not, but this is how the person who are working in the AI field will get. So what information we need from this, that we need to strengthen our tools by providing them a lot of data, and it is very difficult to get the medical data because of privacy issues, security issues and all. So we cannot say that 100% accuracy is there, but yes, we are able to get at least 80-90% of accuracy, and rest is left to the person, a human centric approach for that as well. Okay, so I don't know whether you are able to understand this. There are emotional models that have been categorized, like how do you quantify, because machine wants a quantification, it cannot understand only the quality terms. If I say a fear, anxiety and mixed feeling, so the scale is from 1 to 5, so it will quantify that person has used these keywords. So happy to sad, what will be the scale out of from 0 to 10, what will be the scale? So it is kind of giving the scale to the emotion category. Now these have been defined by some scientists which have developed their emotion model, which is actually applicable in AI tools as well. So any researcher can strengthen these models as well by giving it more accurate, more better in terms of quantifying things. Okay, so this is how the things work. That means how we do this is actually the research work that we are doing. My PhD candidate is doing under my guidance. So this is how we are working in emotion detection in a multi-model tweet, right? So this is one part. From there we can extract that what is the emotion that a person is feeling, or what is the trauma that a person is feeling. So this is kind of a emotion annotation. I won't go into detail of that. So after all these tools and all, though it is very helpful in giving us the information and all, but then again there are a lot of challenges in AI tools. Data privacy and security. Lot many times you must have heard that data of this data has been sold by somebody, this data has been breached by some company, Google has Google data has been breached and all. So every time there is a security threat, the trust breaks from the tools. People won't use the tool. If they won't use the tool, we won't get the data. If we won't get the data, we cannot train our AI tools. So it is the loss of trust. And every time this happens, security breach happened, it costs the company a money, because they need to have further they have to introduce security, they have to redesign their AI tool or the model if there is a data breach. So and the data, if there is a breach, I mean, IBM has told that around 7-8 million dollars will be lost if there is a data breach in any of the AI tools. So that cost to the company. So it is important, though it is a challenge, because once your data is available on our internet, you cannot say it is secure, right? But yes, then without giving the data on the internet, we cannot do much about this. Then comes the bias and fairness. Now when we train the model, what kind of data do we provide? If we are training the model, if the researcher or the for that particular model is sitting in a US or a UK, so the data will be biased in that, because if a person says I'm feeling very hot, right? Sometimes I'm feeling very hot, right? So in that particular case, a person may be sitting in Antarctica, a person who is sitting in a UK or area of a US where there is 80% of the time during the year it's cold only. So the data is biased. I have not taken a data from the entire world. I have prepared my model or trained my AI model based on the data taken from a certain geographical location. And it may so happen that I have taken a data only from the males, not from females. I've taken the data from a certain age group and not from the entire age group ranging from 1 year till 100 years. I've taken a data from a younger group. I went to a school and college. I took the data from there and I trained the model accordingly. So that biasness and fairness is important. So that comes under the ethical issues of the person who's developing a model, because a person knows that what kind of challenges are there, what kind of biasness is there in the model. So it should be brought into highlight by the researcher only, that this model has been trained by taking data from such and such category, from such and such geographical area, so that any other person can further develop that model and can add more data to it. So that biasness and fairness is very important, and we need to understand that it should not be a hindrance to the accuracy of the AI models. Now, how to balance the human centric and traditional AI, where the human intervention is required, where the traditional AI will work. So that is also important, because you cannot enter into the privacy of a person, a patient, and you cannot leave everything to the traditional AI you are bought as well. So it is important that you balance a human centric approach and the traditional AI. Then comes the accuracy and reliability, very important, and it's a large area of research. Trustworthy AI and explainable AI, the result that has been given by the AI, how you are able to explain that. Sometimes you get a very absurd results, okay? How you can explain that result that have been given by the AI tool. So that explanation, logical explanation, should be there every time you use the model. That means it will be a human intensive application as well as AI intensive application in the beginning, till the time we are sure that this AI intensive tool or this AI model is actually giving you the correct result. So huge data is there. Every In every case, we cannot put the human beings to go through the entire data, because if you talk of data, the records which the AI tools search, it's a million records that the AI tools search. It doesn't matter much on the case of any other area, but in case of a medical, the accuracy is very, very important. So unless until we are sure that the data is the information, the result is accurate and trustworthy, we should not be able to launch that particular tool into the commercial prospects. Okay, so this is the important thing in AI or HCAI. So that is how from the a computer person perspective, how AI can help, and what support that we require from the medical persons and all, is that we should be having an access to the data so that we can train the models accordingly. We should have an access to the data of the entire world from a different areas, zones and all, so that the tools, AI tools, can be strengthened and can be made more accurate with that. Right. So this is all from my side. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, I would be happy to answer that.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was a
Hello.
wonderful session.
May I ask question?
Yeah.
Yes, sir, please, please.
Hello.
Yes.
Ma'am, is there any way, ma'am, if we are actually I want to plan to extract the caption in Instagram. I want to ask, and I want to just capture the Instagram caption data. So is there any way to capture, because the many privacy or many protections are there in metadata? So is there
Yes.
any?
So that's why the first thing I started with, that data is important and privacy is also important. So we cannot just extract the data from my Instagram and the comments and then you can diagnose. It's not possible. But yes, there are certain sites which are available. Kaggle, I think you might be knowing, there is a Google database available for us, from where you can extract the data. But directly, if you see from your own side, you can extract the data from the Instagram. That will not be possible, because
Yeah.
that is again a
Actually, that's
privacy.
why actually that's why I'm actually moving on the Twitter. Because of the web scraping, I'm just extracting the data. But when I'm going for the Instagram, there is no any other way.
Actually, Instagram is more about the images
जो
and all.
उसका
So
मैं डेटा जो है वो एक्सट्रैक्ट कर सकता हूँ, but I
yeah.
cannot extract the private account data.
Well, that you cannot do. The private account data
Yeah.
cannot be do. That is why I should not put it on a public platform like this. But still, that is why
Okay, okay.
sometimes
And
there is
ma'am,
a
one more question is there.
sorry, I
Hello,
didn't.
am I audible, ma'am? Hello, am I audible, ma'am?
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay. One more question is there, ma'am. Actually, uh, when we are comparing the anxiety or the depressions, at that time we can we uh compare the data from the Twitter based data, and जो हम पर्सन से जो क्वेश्चनर्स के थ्रू डेटा कलेक्ट करते हैं, कैन वी कंपेयर बोथ थिंग्स? इज इट?
There are two different things. If you collect the data, personal data, I mean, you prepare your own questionnaire and get the data, then you can have data from, first of thing, I talk of the biasness and biasness in the data. So when you are collecting a data, it's not possible for you to get the data from the entire world, right? You can go to any particular organization or a place, the people, you can circulate the form and get the data. Again, your data would be skewed to either one geographical location or to one kind of age group of a persons or so. So your data may be for a beginning, for to start with, yes, it may help. But if you have to make your model a actual commercial model, commercial in the sense actual usable model, then you should have a data from a particular platforms where there is not bias, because Twitter data is generally available. So in that case, you have the data from a different age groups, from a different strata of people who
Yeah,
are
based on
into
the
part
generation.
of
Yeah.
part of world. So that data is actually the data that you require to train your AI model. But yes, to start with, for the beginning, if you are learning something, then you can start with this personal collection of data as well. No issues.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, मेरा PhD का topic भी यही है. So actually, I'm working on that, and based on the questionnaires already, PHQ9 as well as DAS 11, that all the questionnaires are there. So based on that, I will prepare one questionnaires with the help of the psychiatrist, and also I'm working on the inbuilt Twitter data set. So based on that, I'm working on that. So that's why
And
I'm.
sometimes on a certain platforms, you can post your questionnaire as well. So on a
Yes.
social media
Okay.
platform, you can put on your questionnaire, a short questionnaire, not the long one, so that you can put, so that that can be assessed by the persons all across world. So that can be one way of collecting the data as well. But still, you get a very very less responses in that. So Twitter data or X data is the only thing that you can do. Right.
Okay. 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 Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay. Anyone else?
and then not selected.
Somebody wants to say something, but some different languages being used. I'm not able to understand. Any other query, any other question? Or maybe I'll ask the organizers to share my email ID. So if you have any queries and all, you can directly post it to me as well. Right?
Ma'am, there is one question in the chat box from Dr. Vaishali. So she's asking whether social media is an integral part of our daily routine, and finding also suggests that the quality rather than the quantity of social media use can determine whether the experience will enhance or destroy our mental health. Why so? Please explain.
Okay. So, yes, definitely, just let me go through the question once. You're asking that, yes, social media is definitely the integral part of our routine, and we should focus on the quality rather than quantity of social media use can determine whether experience will enhance or destroy our mental health. If I am able to interpret your question correctly, so you want to ask that we should use it for a quality purpose, not for the quantity purpose. And it will also enhance or destroy our mental health. Definitely, social media is useful for the researchers to get the data, to get the information and work in this direction. But at the same time, social media is itself is creating a lot of challenges for the health, especially if it is a mental health, because if I'm posting something in a group, I maybe read by a persons who are also feeling same, so the conversation will go in that direction where I will be feeling very low. So it will, like we talked of CBT, so it is against that CBT only, because if I am not happy, and further I get the messages and it's in social media of the person who are also not happy, so my thought process or my chain of thoughts will be in that direction only, and it will not change. So it is not going to help me out. Definitely, we should work in a direction that use the social media just for our uh, own benefit. I mean, it's another kind of a discussion or a debate whether social media should be used or not. But if we talk of the medical perspective, so we get a potential in the social media posts by extracting the data from that. So that is helpful in this particular case. But yes, otherwise, social media, how it is creating impact on the younger generation especially, that is another a discussion area. I think we should not start that discussion. But yes, all these social media texts are really helpful for researchers who are working in developing AI tools for diagnosing a kind of a illness and all. Right? I hope I have interpreted your question right. So any other query? I think we have already passed 10 minutes.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, thank you so much for your answer. I have one more query.
Yes.
What is the difference between the human-centric and traditional AI?
Okay, I give an example of a human-centric thing that and traditional. Traditional is, it is a bot, you can say. You give the information, it will give you the results without understanding that it is correct or not. For example, when I given a pre-processing, of a sentence that I am feeling lonely among US. Now US, us, it can be us, it can be US. If it is given to a tool, now that tool, it will depend on the tool, AI tool, that US can be taken as a country, or it can be taken as a simple word us. Now if it is a US country, the action would be different. If it is us, that means the tool will able to identify us means what, who all are involved into this, right? So if I leave it totally to the traditional AI, I will not be able to understand why this result was given, right? From the side, from my perspective, it will be US. I can understand the person was in US, so it is a country. But a traditional AI tool can understand a different way. So as a person, I will not be able to validate that result that will be given by a AI tool. So human centric approach is that you get the result, but then you analyze the result and validate the result whether it is correct or not. So it is explainability that we can give uh, of any particular AI tool, that why this result was given. So if a human can do that, ki, okay, this tool has given this particular output or outcome, why this has been given, so why is to be answered by a human being. When this is being done, that means it's a human centric approach. So everything cannot be leave into this this kind of a thing. So for example, I gave you another example, if you have heard of that toll free number call. So in a toll free number call, sometimes we say that we cannot fit our questions into category 1 to 9 that they say, so we need to talk to a person. So that is a human centric thing that is involved. For AI tools, it is very important that first of all is we should have explainability, which can be done by the humans, can be a person's, not only by the AI tools. And then the diagnosis and the final version should be given by a human only, with the empathetic way, right? Not like ki, okay, the bot has given me, you have got this disease, you have got this disease, this disease. So some human intervention is required. So when a bot is mixed with a human touch, it is known as a human centered AI. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much. One more doubt. Which are the variable data in AI?
Variable data.
In AI.
There is no variable data as such. Variable is
I saw in your presentation. There is
uh,
one word, variable
no,
data
it's
in
not
AI.
variable data, it's a variable device. Variable
Devices, okay.
devices. Yeah, so variable devices are the Fitbits and all and smartwatches that we can wear. It is going to tell us that how we are doing, how we are working, what is the pulse rate, what is the heart rate and all. So these are the wearable devices.
Just like our smartwatch.
Yeah,
That
just like
also
a
comes under that
smartwatch.
category.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Smartwatch is also kind of a wearable device only that can give us all the major body parameters, to us.
Okay, ma'am. And what is the function of Visa AI tools?
Pardon?
Visa. What is the function of Visa AI
Okay.
tools?
Okay. So we
Yeah.
discussed one particular tool of Visa. These are basically the AI tools, that understands either from a facial expression, from our body language, from the text, that how the person is behaving, and what kind of illness the person would be having. So these are kind of a prediction tools as well as the diagnosis tools. So Visa has been developed commercially by the company, which are being used by the therapist to understand that if the person is having such and such symptoms, so what kind of illness they will be having. So these
Okay,
are
ma'am.
the
Thank you so
commercially
much.
developed tools which are existing, which are being used by the therapist.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much for a lot of information. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. So thank you all. Thank you for patient listening. I hope this would be a good networking platform and you all can collaborate to work in this direction further. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your invaluable contribution and for sharing your expertise with us today. Your insights into mental health data and the complexities surrounding mental health disorder were incredibly enlightening. And the discussion on how AI, particularly the HCI, that was human centered artificial intelligence, it was a fresh perspective for all of us that what is the future of mental health care. Thank you so much for your valuable knowledge and the time you have spent guiding us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ma'am, you're muted.
So now we will be sharing the questions now on the basis of today's session. There are 3 questions on the screen, which we will be discussing in the afternoon at 2 o'clock. So I request all of you to check your screen and to check your WhatsApp also. So we will be sharing the questions on WhatsApp group. Moving on, now we will be having poll for today. So again, we will be having 2 questions. So it's poll number 6. And there are 2 questions for this. So all the participants are requested to attempt the poll and share their responses. Thank you.
Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Can you share the my mail ID because I want to ask some other questions also via mail. So it is if it is possible, can you share the mail ID possible?
Okay, sir, sure.
Okay.
Once again, I request all the participants to please attempt the poll and share the responses. So we are sharing the email ID of Dr. Meenu Khurana in the chat box. So those of you who wanted it, you can take that. So we'll be ending the poll within few minutes. So those who are left, I request all of you to please attempt the poll. Thank you. Madam Amanpreet Kaur, you want to say something? Thank you so much, everyone, for attempting the poll. So now that's it for today's session. We will meet again at 2 p.m. for our next session. So all of you are requested to come along with the answers that we will be discussing for this session. Thank you so much and have a good day.